So we're back with the program. Femi Awoyemi, a market research analyst and CEO at Proshare Nigeria, still with us here in the studio to discuss the key issue. The president promises the new CEO or Director General at the Securities and Exchange Commission next month. And we're looking at a new agenda for a new SEC. Femi, thanks for sticking around with us. Just before the break, we're talking about Munir Guazo, the acting head of the SEC. And he's been there for a number of years. His career has been about 25 years. He's been at the market. He's currently holding the Africa and Middle East position, which he took over from Ms. Aroma Ote. But looking at the SEC itself, based on what Munir Guazo said when he met with the staff on the day he took over, or I think the second day, and he said that the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, needs to be retooled. He said there'll be no more infighting, there'll be no more discrimination, that the organization itself needs to be transformed, as it were. Now, let's talk about who now do we need for a new SEC that needs to be transformed before the same SEC can transform the market.
Munir Guazo obviously wants to know what he's talking about. He's been there. He's been an operator. He's gone into the Securities and Exchange Commission. He's well known in the industry. And for him to say that, he's only accepting the truth about the situation. What he did not say was his thoughts on how to go about it or what are those key issues. But my challenge is that if you look at those issues we're talking about, and if you look at what was in the last roadmap, because we need to have a common document under which we are discussing, other than I have these ideas, you have those ideas. If you look at those roadmaps, they are not dealing with what we call the new issues in the new market. The new routes to finance, new capital mobilization, new route to dealing with the issues in terms of how do you mobilize savings, are different from those issues we dealt with yesterday. We can only use yesterday as a reference point. We now have today. We have a new security stock exchange. We have the demutualization issues already clearly articulated. We are talking about a new market heading into 2016. Now, despite the challenge, the uncertainty, the risk around these elections, which will make us lose about half a year already before we keep on going forward, which will deal with the issue of capital, which would even excavate that issue for stockbrokers, those are not the larger issues. The larger issue is that how do we create a regulator that understands his role beyond investor protection, beyond supervision and enforcement, and understands his critical role in market development? How do we see an SEC who understands that it is responsibility to go to the National Assembly to get bills passed, and also to get people like BPE, the privatization growth, to understand that it is not for the sake of anyone, but that what they did, for example, in Kenya, whereby it is legislated, that if you have this business, they create incentives around it, that you understand that there's a gradual way in which you can involve. Then you can bring sectors like entertainment, agriculture, telecoms, and oil and gas into your market. Why? The market measures is a good barometer for you to understand how it works.
And perhaps bring back some of the sectors we lost, the media, for example.
We may not necessarily bring those roles back, but I'll give you one good example, by way of digression. Entertainment. There is no known financial model that allows any financial services provider in this country to fund the entertainment industry in Nigeria. And as such, there is no known regulation around how we can protect businesses who go into this particular sector. Yet, this is a nationally acclaimed sector of growth. And again, like Tunji Andrew said, we should not confuse economic activity with development all the time. It is the same, but we should find where you have critical economic activity and it also provides you value. What is the provisions in Nigeria today to fund entertainment industry? Or should I call what we call creative arts sector? We don't have. And that is not a problem. That's where SEC begins to play another role in terms of advocacy to move forward to say, how do we work with the financial and market operators, the capital market, to see how can we fund and monetize this particular industry. Because if we can't do that, you can't do any other thing.
A very interesting conversation. A last question for you. Do you think a new, fresh, minted individual should come in as the head of the SEC in April, as President Goodluck Jonathan said?
Yes.
Thank you. It's nice to have you on the program.
Nice.
Femi Awoyemi, CEO of Proshare Nigeria and a market research analyst. The conversation continues. Share your thoughts with us here on the program. You know, our Twitter handles, you can follow the big brother, as it were. The channel itself, that's Channels TVNG. You can follow us on Business Morning. You want to make it personal, as it were. And if you think I deserve to be followed, I will appreciate that. follow me at Bosun Business. And of course, Femi Awoyemi, Femi Awoyemi is his Twitter handle, and the Twitter community, we know how to converge there and have some conversations. Femi, do have a great weekend. Now, hundreds of top African CEOs are gathering in Geneva next week for the 2015 edition of the summit, and a number of Nigerian CEOs will be in attendance. Channel's business news anchor and producer Bolaji Akinwale will be reporting to us there from Monday. We hope to see that conversation come through. And that's all we've got time for today on the show. I am Bosun Amofayi. News track is at the top of the hour here on Channels Television. Do have a great weekend. I intend to have one. I'll see you at the other side.